good morning. So we have left Death Valley. Hope you enjoyed that. Those two videos were a lot of fun to make, and we saw some amazing things. If you didn't catch them yet, I will go ahead and post a link right up here so that you can catch the first one of those and get caught up. We are off to Joshua Tree National Park. So let's hit the road. Leaving Beatty, we stayed within Nevada, passing the big dunes to Amargosa Valley, where we saw our first aliens and the biggest firecracker I've ever seen, and hung a right into California again, where there were more open roads, wild grasses, until Shoshone, where things dramatically changed. We found ourselves in off-road heaven. This place looked made for dirt bikes, dune buggies, ATVs, and Jeeps. There are several wilderness areas here that are being used for just that purpose. It looked like it would be a whole lot of fun to camp out here and enjoy the salt flats and the mounds during the day and the wide open dark skies at night. We even passed by the Dumont Little Dunes. How much fun would those be in a dune buggy? Sometimes we see the coolest things. Check out what water is done to the side of these formations. I know, I'm always seeing figures in rock shapes, but we love these water-shaped Egyptian-looking formations. The trail beneath our feet, however, was bone dry. And then the aliens descended again. We entered Baker, which is just off the I-15, for lunch and found alien fresh jerky. We just had to stop, and we were not disappointed in what is clearly a local tourist draw. Lots of alien souvenirs, and alien fresh jerky, of course. The guys said this is some of the best jerky they've ever had. But lots of funny experiences to be had too, including having your fortune read, or taking your selfie with an alien. I brought one home with me, filled with green apple candy. After lunch, we cut through the Mojave National Preserve to get to Joshua Tree and saw our first real signs of what the park was going to look like when we arrived. This particular route leads you past the Kelso Dunes, I-40 to the Amboy Golden Buddha. I just love finding the strange and unusual. Finally, we made our way past the Mojave Trails National Monument and into 29 Palms and Joshua Tree National Park. So we made it to Joshua Tree National Park, and we're gonna go ahead and go through there. We saw some pretty amazing stuff on the way down. And now let's go into the visitor center and then into the park. The visitor center is small, so we enjoyed the flowers outside, but missed the Roadrunner by seconds. Got the stamp for our passport book, used the facilities, and we are on our way into the park. Joshua Tree has two distinct landscapes, that of the Mojave and the Colorado deserts as they come together. The first part of this drive definitely looks like the Mojave Preserve that we made our way through to get to Joshua Tree, with the miles of open spaces, different types of cacti, including the Joshua trees, yuccas, and cholas. The cactus bones remind you that these are wide open spaces and they're super dry, even in spring. So plan accordingly, bring lots of water with you as you enter the park. As you may have learned from our Pinnacles visit, we always have a cooler with us, carrying lots of water. Then you cross a small hill and the terrain changes slightly again, and the boulders appear. It was dedicated as a national monument in 1936 and, like Death Valley National Park, was declared a national park in 1994. This park is made up of over 800,000 acres, so there's plenty to explore, but not a lot of facilities available. In fact, there are few restrooms in the park, and what there are will be vault toilets. By no means were we able to explore the whole park. You'd need at least a full week to do that. But we did take the main park drive from end to end and explored what we could. To even drive all of the roads by car would take hours, much less to get out and do some exploring. We knew our timing and knew that the main road was our best bet to give us time to see some of the park and still have time to get out and explore. As with Death Valley, we have to recommend seeing this park in the winter months. November through March will give you much better hiking weather, but April brings you the flowers, including the yucca and Joshua trees in bloom. Keep in mind that there is no cell service here in the park, so make sure you either bring some sort of satellite phone or other safety device if you are heading out into the park and off the beaten path for the day. I think what I've been most impressed with Joshua Tree is, the Joshua trees are, of course, amazing. And it does feel like a forest of Joshua trees. But the change in the rockscape, can't say landscape really, because it really is a rockscape. From these big, huge boulders behind me to little ones that you see where it's like the big boulders were all beat up and thrown out. It's really beautiful. With only about an hour from Palm Springs and a couple of hours from Los Angeles, this park sees almost 3 million visitors per year to drive it, camp, hike, photograph it, and climb these amazing boulders. Located below the I-40 and above the I-10, we had just never ventured out to see it until now. This was my favorite part of the park, the Hall of Horrors. A relatively short trail leads you through these boulders, making it very accessible. Spring is just beautiful in the desert because you do get to see the wildflowers and the Joshua trees in bloom. So it was worth the triple-digit heat to be able to enjoy it. One of the things about this park is how big these boulders actually are. When you take the path and stand next to one, you see just how small you feel. They are truly huge, and I can understand the urge to climb them. You feel like you're 7 again. We were thankful that there were plenty of parking lots and pullouts, so we could just stop and take a walk anywhere we wanted to along this drive. With over 1,200 square miles, we visitors only see about 15% of it annually, and we only saw about 5% on this trip, so there is much to come back for and to explore. Like Death Valley, Joshua Tree here is a dark sky park, and there are campgrounds inside the boundaries that, while they book up quickly, would make for a wonderful way to enjoy those night skies. For some reason, in this area near Hemingway, the boulders seemed even bigger than all of the rest. It's like each section sorta looks like the last section, but it has its own reasons for drawing you out of your car and making you want to go exploring. And yes, these animal signs became sort of a hobby on this trip. With one last beautiful stretch of the drive and the obligatory pose in front of the park sign, we made our way past some unusual sculptures in 29 Palms and down into Palm Springs, where the windmills greeted us for the last part of our journey for the day. YouTube loves it when you do that YouTube 3-step, like, subscribe, and comment. It helps our channel more than you know. So by the time we arrived into Palm Springs last night, it was 98 degrees, too hot to go walking around. And that was part of the problem at Joshua Tree. It was already inching up to 100 when we arrived, so we didn't get to get out and walk as much as we wanted to. That park though, it surprised me. When we arrived, I thought, this is more of what we've been looking at for the last 4 hours. And then about 4 miles in, this is kind of pretty. And then about 4 miles after that, all right, it's gorgeous. Can't wait to go back again to Joshua Tree National Park. Hope you enjoyed our views of it. Today we're gonna wander around Palm Springs a little bit, see some of the pretty that's here, head down to Anza Borrego, and then head up with some family. We're gonna leave you with a few more views of that beautiful park and the surrounding area. Take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.